That's my whole point. Going to my meeting with Ed now. It's 20 minutes, so I will see you after.
Through time travel in the lecture part, because I knew I had a perspective and point of view here to back up the second half. And obviously, that's kind of the focus of today's session, is looking at two things. One I would suggest is more unbelievable than the other, but both done through a very
and I'm very glad with how it went. I cannot talk much because I am at uni, but I am very glad with how that went, and I am very glad that Ed gave me all the changes that he did. But now I'm going to wait for my sister, and then we're going to go home and see what I do with the rest of the night.
This is me going home.
You want to be in my picture?
Oh, what's going on?
I was actually recommended this by a PH student who is taking the master's module that I am, and she said that it seemed very similar to the book that I'm hoping to do for my dissertation in a couple months maybe, but I'm also doing the beginning stages of planning and kind of fleshing out scenes in the sci-fi and fantasy module. We get set a task every week with a prompt that I've been using to kind of build out the scenes I want and that I'm going to eventually put in the novel. So the dissertation is only 15,000 words, I believe, so it's not a full novel, it'll only be the beginning, but I am choosing to base it in a circus. And I think that would be very exciting. It's not something I've done before. So yeah, I'm gonna carry on reading this and hopefully gather some knowledge of, how circuses work more and how people write about circuses. I want to kind of delve into the imagery that they use and the colours and the senses and things like that, and hopefully use them in my own. So I'm gonna carry on reading a bit of this before I start doing the reading for my class. Hello, we have not spoken much this video, but I'm getting ready to go to uni. I've got about 5 minutes before I have to go, so I'm trying to rush. I'm ready, I just need to pack my bag, put my jewelry on. But today's class is non-fiction, and as you saw this morning, we are doing kind of taboo topics. So as you'll have seen from the titles, some of them was involving sex, some of them was involving politics, and I can't even remember what the last one was. Oh, it was about COVID-19. So quite taboo, sometimes vulgar topics. But I found them very interesting and I made a lot of notes on them, so I'm excited to talk through them. So today's class is on that, and as the same with yesterday, it is a 2-hour lecture. It is 1 hour discussion of kind of how we would approach taboo topics and how we would write them in non-fiction. And then the second half of the class is typically going over the 3 reading, answering some questions and sharing with the group. And then we move on to a writing task, which will then go on to be next week's writing task. So I'm going to quickly get ready and then we're going to go. But I'm really excited to see what this lesson is about because I haven't really done anything like this before, especially not non-fiction. So yeah, I'm excited. Time to go. going this way down the back of the street. I usually do in hopes to avoid all the groundworks that has been going on. But yeah, I'm on my way to uni. I am a little bit late setting off, so I'm trying to speed walk, but as I said, I'm excited to get there and I'm excited for the walk. I'm not with my sister today, so I will be listening to music. I've been listening to a lot of SZA and a lot of Tate McRae's new album, so Miss Possessive is going on first. But yeah, I'll see you when I get to uni. I just finished my 2-hour lecture and now I am really tired. Not so much physically, I guess just mentally. I've been doing quite a lot of work today. We are in the bathroom because that's the only place I feel like I can talk without being judged. So I thought I'd just give a little rundown on what my lecture was, soon as I didn't get to again record any part of that. So as I discussed, first part of the lecture was going through polemic, I think it was called, put it on the screen, and opinionated pieces, and basically what you can do with each and how you can write them. And then the second part was about taboo and basically the worries about expressing taboo through writing and ways to do it safely and things not maybe to bring up, which was very interesting. And I've definitely got something I want to write about for the next week's writing feedback session. So I am going to head up to the library where my sister is and continue doing that. I did start it primarily in the lesson. I got 400 words done, but I know I need to tweak it, and with it being non-fiction I need to put in a lot of evidence and a lot of facts that I'm not used to doing in fiction. So when I'm in the library I'm going to have a look at some research into that and then write it, hopefully get it finished before I go at 6 o'clock. But as I said, I am very mentally tired, so I might need to read over it tomorrow before submission just to make sure it's fine. But yeah, come along with me to write again. Together go. I'm home now, but I am planning on spending the night doing absolutely nothing to do with work, so I'm not going to record that. But I'll see you tomorrow when I have a free day off of uni, but I will be doing more work but a little bit of something others in between. So yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. So I said in yesterday's part of the vlog that I was going to finish my work at university and go to the library with my sister, and as you have seen I did go to the library with my sister, but I did not finish the work. I actually cut it off early because, as I said, I was quite tired and my writing was just way too sloppy, and you know, I think it's good to know when to take a break and when to stop. I'd been writing a lot by that point of the day, so I accepted that maybe it was time to stop. So I'm writing about social media use and the impacts on mental health, and I am relating it back to me, so I won't delve into too much about what it is about, as it is quite a serious topic, but I'm glad to be writing about it. I am very open about this sort of things, and I'm excited to kind of see the feedback that I get on it. And yeah, so I'm going to focus on writing this. It is only going to be 750 words and I am almost there. I'm at 650, so I've got a few left and then we're going to upload that. And I want to go back to the one I wrote on Monday and kind of cut that down, because it has to be 500 and it is around 650, so I thought that was fine, but now I feel like it's not fine, so we're going to cut that down too. Oh, we're laying down. I'm about to make food and walk my dog shortly after, but I thought this would be the perfect time to do a review of How to Hide in Plain Sight. So as you can see from the video, I have started a new book already, but I recently finished this on Sunday and I just needed to talk about it because I thought it was so amazing in the topics it touches on and the overall plot, the overall voice. Everything was just amazing. There's no other way to describe it really. So I gave this book 4 out of 5 stars, and that was only because there was one scene towards the end. Obviously I'm going to leave out any spoilers, so I won't say what it was, but there was one scene towards the end that I feel ruined the flow of the piece overall. It kind of hindered what happened leading up to that point, just because it seemed a little unnecessary within the overall plot. It didn't really add too much. I think there is other ways it could have been done that would have flowed smoother, I guess, but other than that, I really loved it. So this book follows a young girl called Elliot. I'm not too sure on her age. I think she might be around mid-20s. So it is new adult, it is romance, which I would say I'm more veering towards young adult, but this was like a really nice change. So we follow Elliot basically living her life and the struggles she has dealing with OCD. And now for someone who has never experienced OCD, doesn't know anyone who suffers from OCD, it's quite refreshing and I guess interesting to delve into someone's mind who does have that kind of condition. So Elliot suffers with this quite a lot, and all the way through the book there is kind of moments where the plot is like broken apart, and now I would say it would be like quite abrupt if it was done in any other way, but the way that the OCD kind of gets in the way of the plot and gets in the way of her thoughts and her actions is really nice, and it's a good driver of the plot, which is one of the reasons why I rated this so highly. And the other one was just overall the events that happened. With most romance novels you have, you know, a build up and then you have a breakdown where things go wrong, and that was my favourite part of this novel that I was reading on Sunday. Things went wrong and things was going very fast paced, and there was a lot of dialogue and there was a lot of inner thoughts mixed with these OCD thoughts that are often put in italics in this book, which I thought was really nice with the separation but also the combination. And yeah, I couldn't put it down. I read, I think, like 200 pages on Sunday because I've been quite slow in reading now that I've been back at university. I rated it a 4-star, and I think if you're looking for something that is romance, that is a little more mature than young adult, doesn't have barely any mentions of like any sex or sexual descriptions, I think this one is really nice. The only thing I would say that kind of brought it down for me, there was that it seemed kind of repetitive in the way that she would describe Manuel, which is her best friend in the novel and someone she kind of has a crush on and kind of pushes herself away from due to her OCD. So she has a lot of feelings that, you know, she's not worthy, a lot of things that come with often having a best friend growing up that you believe is of a higher status than you, of higher popularity, more attractive, etc, etc. But yeah, I think the way she described him could sometimes be a bit like vague to expected, and it did come in a lot of scenes when he first came in that she would describe him this way, and I wouldn't say it was an issue, but I would say it was something, if I was to do it myself, I would change. But overall, the language and the descriptions is so in-depth and it is so nicely described, and it did remind me a lot of Talking at Night, which if you'll have watched my videos before you'll know I absolutely love and I constantly talk about it at university. So this is definitely going to be a runner-up for something I am going to write in my assignments and give evidence of in school, because it just does everything right. If you're looking for a romance, looking for a new adult, looking for something different to fantasy or sci-fi or whatever you might like, I would definitely recommend How to Hide in Plain Sight. I think OCD is a topic that's often overlooked and often misunderstood, so I think it's important to see it in a different light, and this book does it really well. Come on, good girl. Good girl. I've just got home with Willow. She's downstairs after having a pause wash because we both got very muddy. But yeah, now as I said, I'm going to start my CV. I have done a CV for editorial in the creative writing kind of area, but I also want to do one for marketing because I want to kind of broaden my range of what I can get. I spoke to the woman on the careers team at my university and she said it's most likely that editorial jobs won't open up until around April, May, and to kind of look at any graduate roles for marketing or any you can see in editorial before then. So yeah, today the last thing I want to get done is to change my CV, alter it so I have two, and also my personal statement, no, my cover letter. So yeah, let's go do that. Looking for graduate roles is more difficult than I thought, so I'm going to spend a while doing this, and I am not going to do my CV until I know exactly what I'm applying for. But so far, they look good. Welcome to Friday and the last day of the video. We have got kind of a late start today, so we're going to start with some editorial. Okay, that's one of a lot more things to do. So we're going to move on to the next one. I didn't finish my reflection of the second assessment that I showed you yesterday, so we're going to finish that off. I just need to research into some autobiographies that I'm going to use as evidence, and then yeah, we're going to submit that. Okay, now that that's done, it is just gone 1 o'clock and I am definitely hungry. So we're gonna head downstairs, make some food, eat, and then continue. I have just under 3 hours until I'm gonna head to the gym. So let's see what we can do in between then. We have just under 2 hours to get my chapter done. So as you'll have seen in Monday's video, I do feedback on a graduate of the university's novel, and we're around, I think, just under halfway through each of us, but because of that I rewrite my chapters every week. So I need to rewrite, I think it's chapter 21, I believe. I need to rewrite that now. I usually try and get it done before the Friday so I can submit it on the Monday. Sometimes I do it on the Sunday, but I don't like to leave it that short. And I know that there is the opportunity to, you know, say we can skip a week if I have much work, which I have been doing a lot this week, but I wouldn't say I have too much to the point where I feel like I can't do it. I always want to upkeep this process we've got going on, and I always want to give her feedback, and I always want to receive feedback. When I'm not busy, I'm not at the full potential of what I could be, and it starts to make me feel bad. And I think that is like a mental thing that I need to overcome. But I think that is one of the reasons why I fill my days so much with parts of my to-do list. And I usually leave the nights to do nothing, which I think is good. But again, there's still that expectation on me to do all of these things that I'm doing. But, you know, that being said, it does mean I'm productive, and it does mean I'm getting things done, and I'm getting this one step closer to the goals that I want to reach. So I am happy about that. And when I am not at uni and I'm not at work, I still want to allow the day to serve me as a work day, so I can get things done within the 9 to 5 time period you would at a full-time job. So we're going to write until around 4:30 and then see where that gets me. We're starting a little differently today and starting here. So in my chapter before, I was told to kind of join the first part of the chapter with the last part of this chapter, so I did that. So now chapter 20 is just far too short and not enough happens really for it to count as a chapter. Chapters do have to kind of hold their weight and do have to have a beginning, middle, event and end, at least it's kind of expected to be. So I'm going to carry on writing this one, and then I guess I'll just send her the back end of chapter 20